Hello guys, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from downtown Manila with another Stars on Spotlight session. And we've got an awesome guest today, reminiscing. It's back from my home country. We just had a bit of a chat all about Sydney, Australia, where I originally came from, guys. Anyway, without further ado, let's tell you about our guest. Her name is Anita Fletcher, and she's the founder and managing director of Standout Careers Pty Ltd. She'll tell you more about that shortly. And basically, she helps professionals, executives with coaching. Been in the industry for more than 10 years, career coaching, consultancy practice, specializing in assisting doctors, executives, and healthcare professionals. And you're so busy with your job, guys, get some help. Reach out, have a chat to Anita, have a virtual cup of coffee, see what she can do for you and your business and your life. Right? Her key achievements or project: established career services for Australian Medical Association New South Wales branch, managed federal AMA career services for 2 years, contributed to online education for doctors, founded Standout Medical Careers in April 2020, a partnership with 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐫𝐬 Medical Insurance Group Australia, one of the 4 medical, what's the word, Anita?
Indemnity.
Yeah, I can't get my tongue around that one. Providers, helping doctors achieve career fulfillment in medicine and beyond. Don't forget to have a life. You've got doctors out there. Personal motto: life is short, and it certainly is, guys. Make the most of it and help others. A fulfilling career helps us live a fulfilling life. And guys, it's all about, it's meant to be, it's up to me. I'll tell you now, no one's coming to save you, so save yourself with self-education. If you don't know something, reach out to people like Anita and learn from them, and they can help you. Right. Interesting fact about herself: she thrives on helping people who work incredibly hard to help others achieve the best health outcomes possible. As they say, guys, we all know it, health is wealth. And that's not a throwaway line, guys. That's a fact. And Anita can tell you from first-hand experiences, as can I. Anita, welcome to the show, Anita. Nice to have you here. The time where you are is probably about just after midday, correct?
Yeah, it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
1:30, a 3-hour difference, is it? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10:30 here. Okay, I thought it was a 2-hour difference, but is it 3 hours? You got daylight saving or something?
Well, I'm in Sydney, and we do have daylight savings at the moment.
Yeah, that's what throws me out. These time zones throw me out all over the world. You know, what's ATM and what's EST? They throw me out all the time. You'll laugh. If you saw my office, I've got 6 clocks on the wall, so I can virtually look up and have a look at what the times are, actually. Anyway, tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career. Tell us all about that, how it all started.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, my career journey started with an interest in communication and languages. And having studied languages and history and economics and a bit of politics at uni, I worked in the captioning industry. So we were providing captions, or other people refer to them as subtitles, for deaf and hearing impaired viewers of television content. And, I found the service nature of that work really rewarding, and that's a theme that's continued throughout my career. And, now we take for granted that the AIs and the tools within our technologies, our devices, are able to provide captions automatically. But back in the day, we had people sitting and creating the captions for all of the programs that were going to air. Yeah. So I really loved, as our business grew, I ended up working at the news, at all the different news channels around Sydney and some interstate as our team grew nationally. I loved the deadline-driven nature of it, and providing this service in this very fast-paced environment. Love the challenge, the people that I worked with, and always knowing, sort of keeping on top of what was happening in the world. And so I found it really exhilarating and very rewarding work. And introduction of new technologies, the growth of the business, and the arrival of my 2 children then led me into a teaching and development role, and then into human resources.
Wow.
So after doing that for a while, I'd spent about 20 years in that industry, I decided it was time for a career change. So I understand what it's like when people make the transition to doing something different. And then following interactions with doctors during some of my family members' encounters with the health system, I became very motivated to work within the medical or health sector. And so then, people talk about making things happen if you sort of put it out there. A role at the Australian Medical Association, the New South Wales branch, came up.
Wow.
And as going in as their HR manager, they also asked me to set up the careers service for their 9,000 members.
Wow, what a job.
Yeah, it was really fantastic. And before long, I felt like this was the role that I've always been waiting for. Because, I loved my previous work, but this was directly working one-on-one with people and groups of doctors to help them move forward with their careers. So a lot of people think that doctors have got it all sewn up, how could they possibly need any help?
Sure.
But, they're human too.
Absolutely. They don't seem it, but they are.
Yeah. And there are a lot of challenges for people in the medical and healthcare sector.
Yeah.
Just like in any others. And medicine is a very competitive environment. So predominantly I was working with doctors in training, so doctors a year or a few years out from medical school who were then looking to apply for specialty training. And that's where it starts to get super competitive.
Yes.
And then, so I was working for New South Wales, and then I decided I wanted to focus solely on career coaching, with a view to one day going out and establishing my own practice, which I actually did under Standout Careers as a general career consultancy, while I worked in the medical sector. So then I also was lucky enough to land the position at Federal AMA when that became available.
Yep.
And then I was working with doctors around the country and also taking a lot of inquiries from doctors overseas who wanted to come and work in Australia.
Love it.
And then of course everything changed with COVID. So suddenly our borders were closed and a lot of those people couldn't come in, but fortunately, they can now again.
Yes.
But in April 2020, I kept up with my plan to resign from my positions within the AMA and branch out on my own, strike out with my own business.
Love it.
Focusing on doctors. So for the past 5 years, I've been working with doctors at every career stage and in every specialty area, helping them navigate the challenges, the opportunities that their work brings them. So I sort of do that in a range of ways, assisting them with career planning, interview skills, CV development, and dealing with whatever's going on for them. Some people are in very senior leadership roles and they're really trying to be more strategic about what they can do within the health services that they're working in, as well as in their own careers, how to take them forward in the next few years.
I guess too, you got a lot of being in the government. You got a lot of rules and regulations you got to abide to too, which can be a bit stifling sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, working as a doctor, doctors have to follow very specific guidelines in order to maintain their registration. So yes, there's a lot of boundaries around what people can and can't do.
Yes.
So that's it, really.
Fair enough. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that?
Okay, well, I suppose one thing has been, without any prior experience in running a business, knowing
learn as you go.
Yeah, well, first of all, it was, where do I start? I don't know anything. Then I made a list of all the things I thought I needed to do, and I got onto the list and kept moving forward. And that's what I've really enjoyed about it immensely, as well as helping people, is that continuous learning. You know all about that too, Jeff. Anyone who's running a business knows that you have to constantly change, and especially now with new technologies coming up, and I find that very enjoyable.
And challenging, right?
But one of the challenges, was kind of lots of people offering services to help my business grow. And I've kind of learned the hard way with a couple. One includes a marketing service that promised me the world with my SEO, my search engine
Yes, I've
optimization.
been I know all
Yeah.
about that. Believe me, I know all about that.
Yeah, I thought you might with your knowledge of marketing. So now I've overcome that, I think, by being more astute about who I'm engaging,
Correct.
what my expected return on investment is,
Absolutely. That's important.
and really having confidence as well in my own abilities and being able to learn things and work things out. And that said, I still have fantastic people that I work with and that I go to and whose advice I seek so that I can keep learning and develop the business further.
Yeah, I love it. Guys, just on a side note, guys, I years ago, I wanted to be Hitler. I wanted to dominate the world with my industry. I got a big bag of money. I left Australia, got a big bag of money, and I hired, listen to this, guys, carefully. I hired 12, not one, because I had a lot of websites. I hired 12 SEO experts. I hired the best 3 in Australia. One of them was $4,000 a month. So I was serious about it. I went to the Philippines, interviewed 50 people and hired the best 3, went to Malaysia, did the same thing, and ended up in Bangkok and did the same thing. So 12 people in total. Being a layman, they all told me the same thing as they told you, Anita. They said, "Oh, Anita, we can help you. All you got to do, you got to sit back, just pay your bill and wait for 6 months for this to get some traction." Now, because I was a layman, they all said the same thing to me at the time. And I thought, well, they must know because they're all saying the same thing. So, okay, silly me. I spent $200,000, guys, $200,000 across all these people. At the end of 6 months, I had 0. I did not move forward on any of my websites whatsoever, right? And so I am not a fan of SEO, guys. I'm a fan of put yourself out there, do it yourself, and do it by the LinkedIn, Facebook. Social media is a wonderful platform, and you can do a lot of this yourself or with a good VA to help you do it. That's the way to do it, guys. I'm not a fan of SEO. We offer it, but I give people a warning. You could be on page 2 or page 1 or 2 today, and wake up tomorrow, you're on page 9 and no one can find you. So I'm personally not a fan of SEO. But so you got me on my high horse there.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Jeff, because it makes me feel better than, I'm not the only person that's falling into that sticky trap.
They make it sound easy, but the good thing, they hide because they tell you, "Hey, Anita, you're a nice person. Just pay the bill. Just wait for 6 months, and you'll be rich." And it doesn't happen. That's maybe some people can do it. I never found them out of 12, guys. Right?
Yeah.
Now, tell me an important moment in your career that changed your direction, Anita. What made you make that brave step of moving from, the nice government job, well-paid job, to working for yourself? How did that come about?
Yeah, well, there were a couple of things, actually. I knew that when I started doing this work that I'd really stumbled across something, and because of the way it made me feel, how much I enjoyed working with these people and who are really doing so much for others, and that I was almost quite surprised that I was able to help them in the way that they were saying that I was helping them. And then actually, I also had a stint of cancer in 2017.
Wow.
And that, that's a real leveler that makes you really think about what do you want to do with your life. So I definitely, once I'd recovered through that and kept working, but I'm really determined that I will get there. I'll pick my right time, and that's why I enjoy the planning aspect with people's careers as well, because I know too it doesn't necessarily happen next year or even the year after that.
That's right.
I really determined
continuous learning. Continuous, yep.
In 2017 and in 2020 is when I actually did it. It was it takes a few years sometimes that I could see the on-ramp, and I worked out, well, what do I have to do and start thinking about and learning in order to go out on my own. And also really to get out of my comfort zone. Like so many people, I'd worked for other people my entire life as an employee,
Yep.
and I was getting that regular paycheck, which
Job just on broke.
totally, it stops the minute you resign, and then
Yes.
that's it, and actually that was really quite a pivotal time.
It's a wake-up call, isn't it?
Yeah, and I started during COVID,
Wow.
launched Standout Medical Careers when COVID was just taking hold. But that was quite fortuitous because
Good timing.
everyone then went on to Zoom. So I was
Yeah.
able to establish these monthly webinars that I still run today. And, my daughter had lost her job. Everyone was, my son had just started university.
Wow.
And I was the only earner in our house. So I
Sure.
knew it was up to me to start getting
Make it happen. Yeah.
pretty quickly to make it happen. So, that was a great incentive. But I think, the decision to move away from HR and really follow this fire in my belly that I had found was the real thing that made me think, okay, now you're really getting serious about doing this and committing to this goal.
It's amazing you've followed your journey. Like, guys, I've just come to realize in the last few years about this gut feeling. You always hear these stories about gut feeling, and learn to trust it, guys. I've learned that the gut it's there for a reason. It's like a second brain. It's telling you something, and what you got to do, you got to stop sometimes and just listen, right? And like Anita, and then you can pivot like Anita, and do. Anita hasn't got a job. She's got a passion, like me, guys. I haven't got a job. I've got a passion. I love helping people. Anita's the same in her own field. She loves reaching out and helping those people. So it becomes a passion. So find your passion.
It doesn't feel like work. It
No,
really
correct. That's right.
feel like work. I watch people around me complaining about, oh, how are you feeling on Sunday night? We've got to go to work tomorrow. And I think, great, that's what I want to
Well, to me, there's not 7 days a week. Every day to me is just different. I don't give them names like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I just give them opportunities, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your success?
Oh, well, I think that's a great question, Jeff. It's one that I would ask my clients as well. And I really think everyone should reflect on this one from time to time. It really helps your confidence and helps you reflect on what's working and what we need to do more of. So for me, there's a couple of things. One, I guess, is my willingness to take a chance and follow my interests. You mentioned gut. I was going to say too, instincts and heart, sort of follow that passion of where it's at. Second is persistence. And I think that if we want something enough, we really have to be willing to keep working at it. So I was brought up to develop a strong work ethic, given the experience that my parents had as immigrants to Australia from Latvia after the Second World War. And my dad worked in tunnelling and mining, so I know what hard work really looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know I'm really fortunate to have, received an education and been able to do other types of work than very hard manual labour.
Yes.
And I also know how my clients persist as they work through the arduous career of medicine and people in executive roles and people in other healthcare roles. So I really look to them for inspiration as well. And I guess thirdly, another skill I've been really consciously developing over the years is listening. It's such
a good skill to have. Good skill.
It's such an important part of communication for everyone.
I need to learn it because I can talk underwater as I often do.
Well, I think a lot of people can, and I think that it does get overshadowed by a lot of talking. But the more we listen, the better the outcomes and communications and understanding we can have of other people, and it plays a big role in coaching as well. So. Yeah, that's and listening to other people's thoughts about, going into business on my own. I definitely was happy to hear people's opinions. But I'm also pleased that I didn't listen to them all, especially the ones who said, what are you doing? Don't do it. Are you
Yeah.
crazy?
Right.
All of those things,
It's about three things, guys. It's about the three F's, and the three F's are family, friends, and freedom. The big one that Anita's
Yeah,
got now is freedom, guys. You can
yeah,
work when you want to work. You can help. I mean, Anita and I choose. Sometimes we work 15 hours a day, so we don't have to work 8 hours for a boss. But the
yeah,
part is,
yeah.
we love what we do. That's when you find your passion, guys. I told you, it's not work; it's just fun. Tell me, Anita,
Yeah.
how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret?
Okay, well, I think my secret's not that much of a secret, but I think I stay motivated by remembering what my goals are.
Sure.
So, yeah, family's a big one for me as well. I've got a daughter who's moving to Denmark in
Wow.
about 6 weeks' time for the next few years. So, one of my goals is to be able to get over there at the end of the
Sure.
year.
Lovely.
And, keeping those goals front of mind helps me when I realize that I'm starting to procrastinate and sort of kicking a project down the road a bit. I think, no, 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 that's not going to get you where you want to go, in my various goals. And also, I think, I never know when I'm going to get another client or start on a program with me. So, as each person and their circumstances differ, that
Sure.
variety and the opportunity to keep learning through each client really keeps me interested and motivated as well.
Yeah, the thing is,
Um,
guys, it can be chicken or
yeah,
feathers, guys. Anita will tell you it can be chicken or feathers. Sometimes the clients are just pouring in. Other times it dries up for a while. But
yeah,
keep improving your process, guys, and trust the process. And talk about procrastination, guys. I joined a group on procrastination some 6 months ago, and I'm waiting to have our first meeting. So there we
ah,
go. Tell me,
yeah,
tell us
nice
about a
one.
recent
Boom,
project or
boom.
achievement that you're particularly proud of, Anita.
Okay. I think one is, I've had lots of great moments with my clients, and many of my clients have been successful with their applications onto specialist medical training
Love it.
programs.
Yeah.
And while they're always rewarding, last year I was especially pleased when one client attained a position in a really competitive program on his third attempt. So this
Nice.
was for orthopedic surgery in Australia, and I was so pleased because it was really testament to his persistence and
Yes.
commitment, and really also showed that doctors can overcome that very challenging process of getting entry into these programs that really only allow a small number of people each year. So, for example, often, you might get 4 positions available in Queensland and they've had several hundred
Wow.
candidates applying. So, and those people can't apply again until another year comes around.
Yes.
So that commitment on their part, and for me, I was proud because we had
Absolutely. That's
a
awesome.
great relationship. We walked through this process preparation for 6 months before the interview,
Wow.
and regularly worked together to improve his interview skills and to develop his confidence and bring out all the great content that he had to offer and convey to the selection panel. And it worked. So I was very, very pleased.
Yeah, nice work. And don't forget, guys, listen to that carefully. He tried 3 times. The moral of the
Mm,
story, guys, never, never give up, right?
yeah, yeah,
Trust it. This is a pure case of trust the process. Anita and himself were able to work their way through this, and look at the result. Bloody awesome. Um, Tell us, what advice would you give someone, Anita, aspiring to sort of follow in your footsteps? You've done so much in your life. What advice would you give someone?
Well, my advice really is very much related to starting my business, is that when you find that dream job or dream project that you want to pursue, find one person in your midst who supports that. So, as I said before, it's great having family and friends, and everyone will share their views, but they won't always be
Yes, exactly.
supporting you. So I think persevere regardless if your drive and your circumstances allow for that change that you want to make. because, you know, we can spend a lot of time, we don't want to look back and regret what could have been. And I think that one supporter is all you need to remind you that
cheer
what
squad.
you want to do
A cheer squad,
is at least worth trying. Yeah. And to be there to encourage and celebrate your wins. So I've got a best friend that helps me in those moments that I share with.
Awesome.
And, you know, I think if you never take the chance, you'll never find out.
That's right.
And that's an uncomfortable feeling that I don't think any of us really want to feel. And so to sum that up, I guess, is remember that when it comes to your career, you don't have to operate within someone else's comfort zone. So, you know, I respect that my friends want to get their regular paycheck every week and
Sure.
live their life that way. And, you know, I've done that myself for a long time. But I also, I just think that, you know, you've really got to do what you feel is right for you and what lights you up, not what you sort of feel like you're drudging towards day to day. If work's becoming a drudge, I think it's time to start looking for
Absolutely.
something.
That's the time. Yeah, when you're not feeling it anymore, when you haven't got that passion, guys, it's time to move on. And look, life's like a game of chess, guys. Most of you are pawns in the game, right? And pawns don't win the game, right? So try and elevate up from a pawn. In my case, I consider myself to be a knight. I'm all over the chessboard. I can go wherever I want, right? So guys, don't be a pawn in the game. Try and aim to be a bigger piece than that, and step out. Like Anita, step out of your comfort zone and make stuff happen. There's so many people out there that can help you, and many of them will help you for free. You've just got to reach out and have a chat, and they just something they tell you can inspire you, can change. My best thing that ever happened to me when I was about 16, I left school at 14, guys. I read a book which suited me fine, The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. It was the best book I ever read. It was an awesome book. You know, it was basically it was about mail order business back in those days, but you can apply it today. It's a great book, guys. And then you got Think and Grow Rich. As they say, guys, readers are leaders. So I put it to you, minimum one book a month, minimum. Should be one a week, but one a month is okay, right? But inspire yourselves, guys. Tell me, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future, Anita?
Well, to continue to help people find and clarify and achieve their goals. Travel to Europe, as I mentioned, and
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
There for a while, run my business from there. That's been my lifetime goal, lifelong goal. I lived in West Berlin in the 1980s for 3 months, and that sort of gave me the travel bug. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that really sparked up a lifelong passion of travel in me. Keep learning. I'm really enjoying always learning about developments in technology and also coaching methods and outside of work, but it's all interlinked. I think keep feeding my interest in history, film, literature, and design. One day when I'm not working, I'd like to study design. And return to ocean swimming. I had a serious accident about 7 months ago, and I haven't been able to do much swimming, but that's definitely one of the goals.
On the agenda. Yeah, lovely. Yeah. Tell me, Anita, we're about to wrap this up. How can our listeners and people watching this show, what's the best way to reach out and find out more about how you can help them?
Okay, well, anyone can find me on LinkedIn and connect also via my website, standoutcareers.com.au and standoutmedicalcareers.com.au. They're located on that same website. And you can also hear the stories of some of the many amazing people that I've met through the course of my work on the Standout Medical Careers podcast, which is on Spotify, YouTube, all the usual places.
Love it. And tell me, before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Okay, so there's an $80,000 titanium structure in my spine now.
Wow.
That the expert team of surgeons installed in my back last year. And that means that I'm able to float effortlessly. So even when I dive to the bottom of the pool, I rise to the surface again. So maybe that can be a metaphor for life.
Yes.
I think it's going to do a lot for my swimming technique when I'm able to swim a bit more.
Fantastic. Anita, thanks for being on the show today. You've been an awesome guest. And guys, if you'd like to
Thanks.
come on Stars on Spotlight, just like Anita, there's a few spots left until the end of this month. What's the 25th today? We've got a few spots left, and I think for next, what's today, Tuesday? Maybe a couple of spots left on Thursday. Then we've got a new show coming up called 15 Minutes of Fame. So guys, if you want to reach out and find out more information, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and meet interesting guests like Anita from all over the world. And they've all got a story to tell, and you can learn and inspire yourself from those stories. So once again, thanks for being on the show, Anita. You've been an awesome guest. Thanks
very much for inviting me, Jeff. It's been great to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.